Hi everyone, my name's Abul and welcome back to CRTV, powered by City Realtor. Before we start, can I please remind you to hit that like button, as I've been told it really helps the channel. In this video, I will be discussing the pros and cons of owning a freehold property versus leasehold property. Firstly, let's define them both. If you buy a freehold property, then it means that you own it outright, including the land that it's built on. Whereas when you buy a leasehold property, you own the property subject to the terms of the leasehold for the length of the lease agreement with the freeholder. You don't own the land is owned by the freeholder. The Department for Levelling Up Housing and Communities estimates there are around 4.86 million leasehold homes in England, of which 69% are flats and 31% are houses. The majority of flats in the private sector are leasehold. An estimated 95% of owner-occupied flats and 70% of privately rented flats, and around 8% of the houses in England are leasehold. So let's not waste any more time and jump straight into the pros and cons. Starting with the pros for buying freehold properties. Firstly, when you buy a freehold property, you will most likely not be liable to pay service charges. In very rare occasions, you may have a service charge for a freehold property, especially in gated communities where you may benefit from things like a groundskeeper or a security guard. Secondly, you won't be liable for ground rent, as that is a payment that the freeholder charges, and it will soon probably become extinct, as what we can see being discussed in Parliament. Thirdly, you won't need to worry about lease renewals, as you won't have one. With a freehold property, there is no time limit to your ownership. Now let's highlight some cons. Firstly, the most obvious one is the cost of purchasing a freehold property. Owning a freehold, of course, carries a premium, therefore will almost always be worth more than its equivalent in a leasehold property. Secondly, arranging insurances. When you are the freeholder, there is no management company arranging this, except in rare cases. This may not sound that bad, but it is much easier when a management company deals with it. Thirdly, in most instances, you won't benefit from things like a concierge or a gym and pool. These are things that many people have come to love in the UK and other places around the world. When you are living in a house, this is not usually something that is available always. However, as I said earlier, there are communities that are being built that have that, but are still quite rare. Firstly, property price is much cheaper. This, of course, is a big driving factor as to why more and more people are buying leasehold properties today, as it is much more affordable up front. Secondly, a management company takes care of things like the building insurance, so you don't have to worry about that. You will still have to pay for it, but somebody else arranges it. Thirdly, buildings with facilities like concierge, gym, and pool usually consist of leasehold apartments. So if you want to enjoy that type of luxury, it's most likely to be a leasehold apartment that you want to buy. Now let's move on to the leasehold cons. Leases are finite. They need to be renewed and can be costly. When renewing leases, you will need to pay for the extra years, of course, as well as the solicitor's fees. Secondly, service charges and ground rents will most likely be chargeable, and the more facilities your building has, the more expensive your service charge will get. So if you do enjoy facilities like concierge, gym, and pool, you will definitely be paying for it in the service charge. Thirdly, there is a cost for the management company that overlooks things like upkeep of the communal areas and arranging insurances. And fourthly, as a leaseholder, you may be liable for major works. And this is sometimes to take care of things like maybe new lifts or something big that's happening in the development. As a leaseholder, there will be opportunities for you to purchase the share of freehold. This may be done collectively with some of your fellow leaseholders, and you will benefit from things like being able to increase your lease up to 990 years and having control over the cost of the service charge. There is also something called a common hold. Common hold is an alternative to long-term leasehold. Owners of the properties that share a lease can form a common hold association, which owns the land, building, and common areas, and is responsible for the management, maintenance, repair, and servicing of them like a leasehold. Like a leasehold, owners are responsible for their individual flats or houses, but unlike leaseholds, there is no time limit for how long you can own the property. Anyone who owns a freehold in the building or estate is entitled to participate in the running of the common hold association. That brings us to the end of the video. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about anything I've mentioned in the video, you can leave a comment below or send us an email. I'll leave the contact details in the description. And I'll see you all in the next video.